Right, so if you watched the last video that I did on the tailgate strut for the Ranger, you would have seen I put the slow down strut onto the right hand side, which was great, but it's always worried me a bit because you just feel the whole weight of this is just on two bolts there. So what I've decided to do is I've got a replacement for that side and also a brand new one for this side as well. So we're going to put two brand new ones into place so that the tailgate is supported on either side, and that's what we're going to do now. So we're going to remove the original one that I put on and put two on, and we're going to show you how to do that. And this is what it looks like with both struts fitted before we go through the process, and easy to push up with two struts on. And this is actually it comes down quicker with the two struts than with the previous struts, so really impressed with this. Okay, so let's just have a look at the existing setup that I fitted, this will be about 1.5 years ago. So you can see I lost the cotter pin that should have gone through there, so I can't remember what I used for that. If we look here, again I lost the circlip for that, so I used an electrical connector for it. But what you'll see is there's been some deformation here. The weight of this has pulled this down, and so the bottom edge of this in. So hopefully we're going to not so much correct it, but just make sure that all the weight isn't on that. There you go. Right, so this is the twin kit that I got. So there's the two struts. There's the two struts there. We'll take those out in a minute. In fact, we'll take them out now and have a look at them. Get rid of that. So that's the struts there. The struts don't appear to be handed, which is fine. The original one was handed, but this isn't, so we'll see if that makes a difference. And the two fitting kits, now these are handed, so you have to make sure obviously that you're using the right one there. What else do we need? We need a Torx kit. We need ratchet, the right size of spanner or adjustable spanner, and for good measure some grease just to put over the connections, just so that they don't rust over. Right, let's get started. Right, so we'll just take off the strut that I fitted last year. I'll remove my homemade circlip, that's that off. Just relieve the pressure, and that should just come off like that. Right, okay. So we've got that off, which means now we can take this bolt off and this off down here, which looks like it's come loose. Yeah, so you can see that's come loose over time, so that should have been tightened up anyway. Right, okay. Right, so let's get that done. Right, for this, I'm just going to use, it's a T40, you can see it there, it's a T40 Torx. That fits in nicely, so we can take that out. However, for the original bolt that needs to come out on the other side, it's going to have to be a T50, and that fits absolutely perfectly. Anything less than a T50, you're just going to shear that, so that's no good. Right, get this taken out. I should be able to do it by hand. Yeah, there we go. That's how tight it was. Okay, so that's off. I'm going to, you can see I greased it up originally just so that there was no rust. I'm going to replace this though with the one that comes with the new kit. So let's just pop that to one side. Leave that there. Now we'll just take off the old. So this is what retains the strut. Again, when I come to do the other side, you'll see that that's the original side and nothing's been done on that. So you see how to basically fit a brand new one as opposed to just replace one. Right, so the order that I'm going to do this is, we'll take out the, so this is how it was fitted, yeah? And remember what I said, these are handed, yeah? So that is the wrong hand, for example. So what we'll do is, we'll get the right-handed one, which is actually the right-handed one. Move that screw, pop the bits into there. Right, now this is going to fit there like that. And once the strut goes onto there, I'm going to put the cotter pin into it, which I'm not going to lose this time. So let's get the screw. Put some grease onto it, like so. There's the grease. Let's get this and bang it into place. And there's a lip underneath, so it can't go anywhere else. And because this screw is the shape that it is, it actually beds this down. You'll see it pull into place there. Right, there we go. This is a great set of Torx bits. I had to order these before I could actually fit this last time, so I suggest that you always have something like this in stock. And they're a quarter drive, so that just pops into there. It's a Stanley, so just pop that in and tighten that. So it's nice and tight. Now that's not going to come loose like the previous one did. Okay, take that out. Right. Now, as I say, this isn't handed. Let's pop this in first. Again, bring the camera back round, and then we'll put the strut onto there so that you can see it, and the other end onto the bolt up there. Alright, so what we need to do is get that, put the washer over the back like so, and what that does is, if you can see, it gives that movement there, which is what you need. So we'll pop that in. But before I do that, get some more grease, pop that on. That's just screwing on there. Tighten it up in a moment. Again, get the right side on. Right, so even though that's nice and tight, you can still see that there's movement there. Right, now what we need to do, as I say, these are not handed, so it doesn't matter which one you use. But we'll get this one first, pop that onto there, like so. And then we're going to need to push that back so that we can connect it onto here. Before I do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the circlip on up here, without losing it this time. Get my Leathermans just to make sure that I don't lose it. Right, so we've got the circlip, and that just pushes or knocks, whichever, onto right, there we go, that's in place. If you can see it, it's a really important part of it. So just move that. So you can see now the circlip is holding this into position, which is exactly how it should be. Lots of moving around of the camera so that you can see exactly what I'm doing. Right, so now we're at this end and we need to pull this out. It moves but very, very slowly. Once that's pulled out to the right length. Right, so that's on there. You can see that I've pushed it. get the cotter pin, pop that in there, and then again use the Leatherman to make sure that this isn't going anywhere. Bend that round. No good wearing glasses, you can't see anything with or without them. No, okay, just leave that like that for the time being. Right, now that should. Right, okay, so we know that that is working, and it's working on one side, and it's actually better than the other one, because although it's a slow down strut, the other one took an awful long time to get down. That's good, I like that. Now that may change when we put the other strut on as well. So one thing that I didn't do when I fitted the other one is I should put this behind there. The retaining spring goes through it and onto here, and basically when it goes back it brings this back so that it doesn't get trapped in this. Now I've found that I don't need that, so I'm not going to put it on. I'm not going to take this off because it's painted over. If in the future I find that I need it, then I'll put it on, but at the moment I don't. Right then, so that's it. The right hand side all done and dusted. As you can see here, that's movable. This is all in place and tight. We've got the circlip on that's keeping it in place there, and then coming down, this is now all nice and tight. This is on there, and we've got the cotter pin keeping it in place. So all we need to do is just do it on the other side now. Right, so now we know what we're doing. We'll get this all done and dusted and out of the way. So what you're going to see though is the screw down here. You didn't see that coming off because I'd already done it on the other side. Now I've loosened that. What I'm going to do here, sorry about the wind, but I'm just going to release some of the weight off there, and then I can unscrew it by hand. There's obviously a stop strap here. It's tight, so make sure you keep the old washer. You're not going to need the old bolt. Right, now let's have a look down at the bottom here. Right, so I'm just going to remove the strap, which all you do is just turn it to 90 degrees and it just lifts off. We'll pop that there. I'm going to take off this T40 and put the T50 on, and we're going to remove this. And it does take some doing because obviously it's been painted over. So let's just get it in place and see if we can crack it. Right, this is going to need some work on it. Right, so this bolt is a T50 Torx bolt, and it is absolutely solid. Now, I'm hoping, if I just pan out of here, I'm hoping that by using this air impact torque wrench, I'm going to be able to dislodge it. If not, I'm going to have to absolutely cannibalize it to get it out, because it needs to come out, and I won't be using it again, so I can cut the head off. Right, so this is a 1/2 inch fitting there. What I'm going to have to do, because that's a what is it, this is, there we go, so there's the 1/2 inch fitting there, and it's being reduced down to 3/8, if I'm not mistaken. 1/2 inch to 3/8. Right, so we'll pop that in there. Pop that in there, which isn't the easiest thing to do. Right, so that's that. So that's working. Now, down on the bottom here, we're going to put it onto Torx setting 1, which is the least, and we'll see if this is going to work, and hopefully it will. Right, that's not working and the compressor's kicked back in. So Torx setting 4. I'm determined this is not going to get the better of me, and rather than taking it to a garage to get them to sort it, I'm going to use an angle grinder, and I'm basically going to cut the sides, or cut sides onto this, which should break any seal that it's got there with the paint, etc. So let's get that done. And that is it done. Fantastic, we can crack on now. Take that out there. Now, I had to cannibalise it, but it's been well worth it. Well worth it. So we'll get the replacement in there, get some oil on it, and Bob's your uncle. Right, so remember what we've done here. As I say, these packs are handed. So what we need to do, make sure that we've got the circlip and the cotter pin. Right, so I've just filed that out a bit. Now what we'll do is pop that on there like so. Get the old washer, which is this one, pop that on there, and then just tighten it up. Like so. I'll attach this to this when we've finished. Give it a bit of a tighten. Don't need to over tighten this. That'll be fine there. Right, now exactly like the old side, get that, pop that on, so there's it, pop that on there, get the circlip, pop that on. What I'm going to do is again just use the Leatherman. Make life a little bit easy. Push that on. Right, so that's the circlip, holding that in place. Let's bring the camera around so you can see the rest of it. Right, so now we need to get this on. Again, it's handed. Let's just get some grease on in case any of this has been. There we go. Last bit on there. Right, get that. Pop that on. Let's move that out of the way. Okay, that's that done. Right, again, pull this out all the way until it's long enough to just slip on. And that's that. So the slow down strut's on. I've put the cotter pin in place to hold it on, and also the restraint strap's been put back in place as well. And now let's just see it in operation. Right, that's it, both fitted. There's no additional pressure needed with two when you're putting it up, but I just feel confident now that the whole tailgate is supported on both sides, rather than just one taking the pressure of it dropping. The retaining strap's working fine. So both of these struts came to under £18, so 22 US dollars. I'll put the links on to purchase them. It would have taken about 10 to 15 minutes to fit them if I hadn't struggled with that last bolt. I know when I did this one it came out really easy. So 10 to 15 minutes to fit unless you hit a snag. Really easy to do and so beneficial. You don't get that slamming down anymore, which is fantastic. So if you like what you've seen, you like the video, subscribe. Thank you.